service, and of course, the $1 Million Man, Bruiser Brody, and Gary Hart. And I'll be talking to Gary Hart in just a moment. But Richard, I know you've come every time that Bruiser Brody is around, you're with him.
Yes, sir, I sure am. There's one thing I'd like to say right now, if I can. On behalf of Metatrans Ambulance Service Company of San Antonio and the Emergency Medical Services of Texas, I'd like to stress that y'all wear your seatbelts. It's not only a law, but it saves lives.
And it also costs you a fine. The Highway Patrol catch you out there on the road.
Right.
Thank you, Richard. We go over here now to Mr. Gary Hart. And Gary Hart, it's all laid out here in front of us. I know what it is. I was at the doctor's office a couple of weeks ago with Scott Casey. The people have seen what happened to him inside the cage. And I just don't agree with the things that you and the $1 Million Man are doing.
You mean to tell me that you disagree that Bruiser Brody and Gary Hart should not take full advantage of these gentlemen's technique in stopping bleeding? Here are some bandages for elbows, ankles, scratches, abrasions, bruises, some type of eye wash in case something's thrown into your eyes, all kinds of things in here. Look at this here. In case Bruiser Brody actually break someone's leg, it can be encased in here from what this gentleman tells me, and until he gets to the hospital to get taken care of. Here I think Scott Casey had one of these very things around his neck, didn't he?
Sure did.
Whew, boy, I tell you, this guy's got a lot of stuff in here. Now looky here. Just in case someone's knocked unconscious or feeling faint from just the sight of Bruiser Brody, then we have oxygen, see? So we've taken care of everybody. I will guarantee everyone that gets in the ring and wrestles Bruiser Brody, they are going to have competent medical help on their way to the hospital. Because you can look at it like this. You can call Bruiser Brody whatever you want. I like to look at him sort of like a wrestler who cares about his opponents. We want our opponents to know that they are going to get beat up really, really bad. But as soon as they get beat up real bad, someone's going to be there looking after him. This gentleman and his partner, they pick up people that are in plane crashes. They pick up people that are in drowning situations. They pick up people that have been in hurricanes and tornadoes. I mean, these gentlemen are really, really, really competent men. So at least when you fight Bruiser Brody, you're going to know you're going to have the very best medical service from the arena to the hospital, and you're going to have our best wishes, and that's about all. And if I didn't do this, I would be afraid that anyone would be afraid to wrestle Bruiser Brody. I'm trying to give them all the insurance a person could possibly want.
Well, this is the thing I don't agree with. I mean, there's no reason to have all this because you shouldn't be doing what you're doing to require this service.
Bruiser Brody is such a strong competitor that who really has a chance? Tell me in the last 15 years, anyone that's ever put Bruiser Brody's shoulders to the mat. No one. Tell me anyone in the last 15 years that wants to get in the ring and wrestle Bruiser Brody. Tell me the last person in the last 15 years, how many people have been hurt at the hands of Bruiser Brody? And me being a wise manager, I realize that a service such as this is needed, and I frown on your attitude, because if we're doing anything, it's trying to bring safety to the business that we make our living in.
I know you have some important business to take care of right now.
Yes, we do. David Patterson, you may be next. By the way, let me see here. From now on, you know what I'm going to do? When they're laying on here, I'm going to check them out, make sure they're healthy on their way to the hospital.
Lou Gaddafi, Scott Casey, Steve Simpson, and more. That's all yet to come. Oh, Brody misses that one as the grappler held onto the rope. Bruiser Brody, world traveler. Armbar. Brody holding on. Brody takes the leg, sweeps it out from underneath the grappler. Grappler down, but as you can see, Brody holding on to that arm. The grappler up on one knee. Now the grappler all the way up. Brody up with him. They back into the corner. It's the grappler in front. The referee, Bronco Lubitsch, says break. And the grappler on the break throws a forearm across the chest. Another one across the chest of Brody. He takes him, whips him across the ring into the turnbuckle. Brody moves, and the shoulder of the grappler into the steel post. But Brody reaches in, has the grappler up for a slam. Brody covers him up in front with a face lock. Bruiser Brody. Tough-looking character. He holds on to that front face lock of the grappler. This is grappler number 1. Last week we saw grappler number 2. It's Brody backed into the corner. The grappler in front again. The fist to the midsection. Brody comes out, rakes the fingers around the area of the eyes. Big chop from Bruiser Brody. He grabs the grappler by the arm, whips him into the turnbuckle, across the way. Here comes Brody in, and the grappler kicks him as he caught him coming in with that boot. Forearms by the grappler. Brody whipped into the ropes. A knee. Oh, no. Brody got that big boot up there. Brody with a big boot, knocking the grappler down. That grappler outside the ring, shaking it off. Brody in the ring, pacing back and forth. There's the grappler. He felt that big kick. Grappler slowly makes his way up onto the apron and back in the ring. Brody wants to lock fingers with the grappler. Well, let's see if the grappler does it. Brody has that big right hand high in the air. He's inviting the grappler to come over and power it out with him, but no. Brody grabs the grappler, throws him out. Brody takes the grappler out into the crowd. Brody grabs a chair, hits the grappler with it. The grappler comes up kicking in forearms. The grappler has a chair. Here they come, back towards the ring. Brody reaches in, he slams the grappler on the floor. Bruiser Brody takes the grappler, throws him underneath the bottom rope, back into the ring. Here comes big Bruiser Brody in after him. Brody puts that boot to the side of the head. The grappler comes up swinging. Brody on the ropes. The grappler slams the head of Bruiser Brody into the turnbuckle. He does it again. Next week, you'll be seeing more of the great world-class stars and the great wrestling Von Erich family. They'll be here next week, so don't miss it. Grappler holding on in behind as he holds on to that big head of Bruiser Brody's. Brody twisting. Here he comes up. The grappler still holding on to Grappler with a fist, Brody with a fist. They exchange blows in the center of the ring. Bronco Lubitsch trying to tell him to open those fists up. Neither one of the wrestlers are paying much attention to the referee. There's a knee from the grappler. Takes Brody, lays him across that top rope. Forearm to the back by the grappler's head. Brody laid across that rope. Brody whips the grappler across the ring. Brody's in front. They collide. Neither man goes down. Over the top went Brody. A big chop. Down goes the grappler. Bruiser Brody was over the top of the grappler. Had that big chop. Now he's got him up for a slam. Here comes Brody over to the corner. Brody comes flying out of that corner. Drops that leg across the chest. Here's the count by Bronco Lubitsch, and it's 3.
Weighing in at 307 pounds, King Kong Brody. King Kong Brody is seconded by Sheik Adnan LKC. Your referee is Marty Miller. Now down to ringside, DeLord James Blears and Vern Gagne.
And Vern, I see a lot of bad blood between you and the big Brody in there. King Kong Brody, he's threatening you with a stretcher. That would mean only one thing to me, and that he wants to put you on a stretcher.
Well, he'd like to, and he'd like to try, but he's not going to get the chance. I'm telling you, this Sheik and he and his whole army, the Sheik's army, they're in for some big surprises, Lord.
Well, I can't believe what I'm reading in this, one of the big matches coming up on the 20th of April. We saw what happened last week. It's unbelievable that you would sign a match. If I can read this. tell you about it, Vern. Brody is going to wrestle with the Barbarian as a team in a cage against Greg Gagne and Crusher Blackwell. Now, if Greg Gagne, your son, and Crusher Blackwell win this match, you get 10 minutes in the cage with the Sheik, who's running around at ringside now.
Well, Lord, I can't say how delighted I am to finally get a chance. I hope to get in that ring with Sheik Adnan El-Casey, who broke my ribs 1 year ago and ended what little wrestling career I ever had left. I never forgot it. I've been like an old wolf laying in his cave licking his wounds, and I just hope to God that I get a chance at the Sheik on the 20th of April. Look at this. Look at that in the face of Brody's opponent.
Brody. Patterson, Brody. Brody's going wild. The people are chanting. What are they yelling? They're telling the Sheik to go back to wherever he came from.
Baghdad,
A shower of ice came over Baghdad, Iraq. And we've got pandemonium here at ringside as it all started off when Brody showed a stretcher at Vern Gagne, who's sitting narrating at ringside. And you can see the fire in both their eyes.
Well, Lord, if they think they'll ever put me on a stretcher like that, it'll be a cold day you know where.
Well, I know at one time, Vern, I hate to bring this up, but he did put you on a stretcher a year ago and did break all your ribs.
He broke my ribs, but he didn't get me on the stretcher. I made it to the dressing room on my own power. But I'll guarantee you one thing. If I get that 10 minutes in that ring with the Sheik in the Metrodome, you can kiss off the Sheik. He better make a quick reservation on whatever airlines goes to Baghdad, because that's where he'll be going.
And outside the ring, King Kong Brody has his opponent, who's a big man, picks him up and rams him into the steel post in the corner of the ring, and he's flat on his back on the concrete floor here at the Showboat. There he is, big King Kong Brody, over 300 pounds. Picks his man up again and rams him across that big iron bar. The referee is down. Brody hit the referee.
Apparently the referee
The bell is sounded.
Apparently he's been
Picking him up.
The bell is
Patterson is very badly hurt right now. His back is injured. He was rammed in the steel post. Brody's still in the ring. Vern Gagne. Watch it, Vern. Wait a minute, Vern. Just a minute. The referee. Get the referee. He pile drives him in the middle of the ring. But I believe the match, I don't know. The bell has sounded. He's counting. The Sheik is in the ring. The referee, Marty Miller, signaling to the timekeeper. I don't know what. I can't hear it. But it looks pretty bad for... There's the stretcher. You better stay out of it, Vern. Right now. The Sheik is in the ring. The referee, Marty Miller, is trying to control, very difficult to control, a 305-pound wild man. I wouldn't like to do it. And there's a Sheik in there. He can't control him right now because King Kong Brody is going completely mad. Okay, sports fans, I'm telling you, something has happened in the ring here, and it's still happening, and it shouldn't happen. It's a terrible thing that is happening. There's the bell pounding away, and the referee is ordering Brody to the locker room. He could be